Hey YouTubers, thanks for joining me here for another bottle digging video. Only in this old video we're not going to be digging for bottles. We're going to be going over this box of relics that I dug up in last year's digs. So you can see all these relics in last year's bottle digging videos if you're interested. Before we get into those, I'd like to say the next video I post will be a new bottle digging video. Alright, so one more thing before we get into the relics. I got something here I want to show you. Okay, so for this visually stunning magic trick, folks, bear with me. This is like the first time I've tried this, especially, well, you know, like from this angle, so I don't know what it's going to look like. Alright, so I'm going to make a fist. I'm going to put this cloth over my fist like so. I got a candy thermometer down there that I actually found last year in the bottle digging video, and I think it was the Judge's Dump video, with the Liquor Bottle Bonanza video, I think it was called. That was alright video, check that out. So I got that indentation in there, and I'm going to try to squeeze this down through the cloth. Okay. Work it out through the bottom. Alright. And then we're just gonna open the cloth up. And ta-da! No holes in the cloth. I think that turned out pretty good. What do you think? Wow. Okay, so I took a couple minutes there and poured myself a drink of the old Captain Morgan spiced rum. That's right, the captain is in the house. And I removed the cloth, got the candy thermometer over there, so you've already seen that. And let's get into the box here. So the first thing I'm going to pull out is this here. I dug this up. It was basically late 1920s and 1930s dump site. Well, this is like either it's going to be a mirror or a brush. And it is sterling silver, and the date on it is 1903. You can kind of see there, Pat, 1903, sterling. Nice decorative piece. We got a lot of interesting pieces out of that dump site. Next up, here's a piece I found actually not too long ago in a dig. A sad iron rest. And I believe this one dated to the 1880s. Cleaned up fairly well. Put a nice little layer of paint on it there. And next up, might as well show this other sad iron rest. That one cleaned up fairly well too. This one's possibly 1890s. And this actually came out of the same site as that piece of silverware there. I'll put those two sad iron rests right there. And the next item. Well, maybe we'll do two items here at the same time. There's nothing real special, but doorknobs. Porcelain doorknobs. Check them out. Black one, brown one. Dig lots of these up. Well, I shouldn't say lots, but they do turn up quite frequently. And there's a couple from last year. Nice ones. How about this little brass piece here? Gonna focus on that one. This little puppy turned up last spring, Wheeler and Wilson. And that is a plate off a old sewing machine. I believe that's 1890s as well, or possibly 1880s. Well, that's a nice little piece. Okay, here's a piece that turned up not too long ago as well. And this is a handsaw badge. I can't remember the exact date on this, but it's early 1900s. Warranted Superior. I was going to do this video outside. I had the stuff out there and I just couldn't seem to get situated properly. So I brought it all back inside. It's actually a beautiful day out. It's a shame I couldn't get it done outside. But anyways, here we are. Let's keep going. And next up is this. Let's try this weird looking piece. I never did identify this one. Still not quite sure what it is. Interesting. Heavy too. It's a heavy piece. Nice design. And I might as well say thank you to all the folks that helped identify some of these pieces. There was some that I had no idea what they were or what sort of age they might have been. But there was a lot of kind folks to help me identify some of them. Here's a beautiful piece here. 1886. That's right. I traced this one back to 1886. Took the back off it, as you can see. That comes off. And it's got some info in there. And I looked that up. 1886 New Era pocket watch. It's a little bit difficult to see, but there is a train on the back of it here. Etched into it. In a really good condition for 1886. I'm sure that was kept and thrown out long afterwards. That would be what you'd call a late throwaway. Here's an interesting piece. Like a collapsible travel mug. Let's see if I can get it open. Yeah, there we go. Top comes off. Some of you might remember seeing this one in the video. And I've actually filled that up with water, and it does hold water. Believe it or not. Neat item. Not sure of the age on it. But it came out of a 1920s, 1930s site. So it could be earlier, actually. You know what I mean? Could be early 1900s. Probably something you would have hung on to for a while. How about these? Makeup tins. These turn up fairly frequently. These are both probably from the 30s. This one opens up and you can see inside. There's powder there. This one's got a bird on it. Pretty good condition for the age. Looking at probably 90 years old anyways. Well, I'm just not sure if we're going to have enough time to get through all these. Might have to cut it short. Here's a nice old bell, big one. Clapper's missing from the inside of it, but it's calling it a Conestoga bell. I'm not sure if it is or not, but it's in pretty good condition other than the clapper missing. These are a couple of my favorites here. Two shakers, and they are sterling silver. I couldn't believe I dug the pair of them up. And they weren't together either. They're probably, I don't know, 6 feet away from one another. And they're in pretty good condition. Sterling silver, little tiny shakers. They came out of the same dump as this other piece of silver up here. What else we got here? How about this drawer pull? We got a knight in shining armor there. Huh. That come out of an 1880s, 1890s dump site. Well, some of the stuff in the site's that old, and this quite possibly could be one of those things. See, he's got the battle axes here on the side. Kind of see. Cool little piece. Cleaned up pretty good. Got this harmonica And this is the fullest harmonica I've found, that old. It's got 2 reeds there in the top plate. I couldn't get a date on it. They still make this brand of harmonica, but it's probably like turn of the century based on the other stuff that I found at the site. I got this Hume knob, which would have been off a horse harness. And I soaked it in CLR, and this is the soak line here. This is before and this is after. And some of my viewers identified that piece for me, so thank you for that, as they did with some of these other ones as well. Took another little break there and had a drink. Next up, how about this glass hypodermic needle? I found this one down in the old honey hole dump site. Can't quite remember what the year on it was. Trying to get it focused, but doesn't seem to want to focus. Got some cobalt blue glass on the end of that. That was a nice little find. I think it was probably like from the 30s or 40s. Here's a button, Merchant Marine button. Somebody identified that one as early 1900s, most likely. And another button that this may actually be from a more recent dig. I believe the date on this one, it actually says on there somewhere, registered or patented 1875, I think it is. Someone identified that as a German cross military button. That's kind of cool. It's an oldie. And another item is a medallion. I dug this one up in like a 40s dump site. And this medallion was to commemorate the Queen's first visit to Canada in World War II. It's not a coin, it's a medallion. There's the back side there. It's a map. It's got some writing around the edges. That's a neat little find from the 1940s. Wasn't expecting that. That find was actually in a little milk glass jar with a bunch of other rusted up pins and stuff, so it was kind of cool find. Well, I'm quickly running out of space on my phone here, folks, but here's a little 1910-ish Model T Ford valve stem cover. Neat little find. We got a spoon, cleaned up quite nicely. What would a collection of digs be without a spoon? Always getting a spoon each. We got a toothbrush made of bone. Get that camera focused there. I want to focus. So there you go, a bone toothbrush. The one and only bone toothbrush that I've found. I got this big old brass buckle, probably a piece of horse tack, cleaned up fairly nicely. Okay, folks, so I ran out of space on my phone here, so I had to transfer all the video there to my little desktop. So now I'm back to finish up here. So what have we got next here? How about this item here, which I remember a few of my viewers commented and identified this piece here, and this is going to turn out to be a Jello mold. It's an oldie, probably from 1920s, we'll say, or 1930s, maybe even older. Next up, how about this little item here? This one came out of the old local honey hole dump. I think this one was the 1940s. It's a frog razor blade bank. It was a promotional thing. And you'd put your used razor blades down in the frog's mouth here. Check it out. To dispose of them. And there's no way to get them out of the thing, so I'm assuming that once that was full, you just toss the entire thing in the trash. But that's a neat little item. Cool find. Next up, how about these here doorbell chimes. Something you might find in a grocery store or something, hanging over the door. So we're getting near the end here, folks. This box is pretty much empty. We've got 2 items left. We've got this one here, which is some sort of tea strainer. It's in a really good condition, cleaned up pretty good for the age of it. I suspect it's probably from the 1800s, 1890s possibly. Nice piece. And finally is another sort of tea strainer, different one. Check it out, and it's in pretty good condition as well. And I dug this one up the same time as I dug up those 2 silver shakers. So somebody at some point must have threw out some kitchen stuff. Alright, so that's it for this one, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video and all these interesting finds. Feel free to comment below and say what your favorite find is. And if you have any information on any of it, feel free to put that down there as well. So that's it. I'm going to split. See you all in the next one, folks. Next one's going to be a new digging video, so stay tuned for that. Over and out. Have a great day.